Hello and welcome to the Spirit and Soul Podcast. I am your host, Tiffany Cohen, owner of Spirit and Soul Studio, and today we are talking about prayers. Prayers and asking for what you want from the universe. Really, it's about the language that the universe speaks and what you can really do to lean into how you pose your questions, how you ask for the things that you want in the best way. So what really brought on this episode was I love pulling cards from the Postcards from Spirit deck by Colette Baron Reed, and I haven't pulled one in a while from her deck, and I grabbed it and I was like, let me just pull a couple of cards. So I pulled some cards, I pulled a card or two for myself, and then I said, you know what? Let me see what's in store for the collective. Maybe I'll do a podcast episode on what I receive. And the card that I pulled was such a beautiful testament to me asking for what I needed, because let me tell you something, I was having a creative blank and I'm like, I have so many things I want to talk about and nothing's coming out right. And I'm just like, okay, let me ask for help from Spirit. And Spirit gave me something. So let's dive in. I'm going to read you, I'm going to break up this card and read it to you in little chunks and kind of break it down, because this card is so important. Oh my gosh, it's so important. And I realized that there are certain ways, it started getting me thinking. And I realized that there were ways that I talk to Spirit that I want to share with you, because I find it to be really empowering, and important to my daily practice, important to my manifesting, important really in so many areas of my life. Even when I am asking for something from the universe, or I'm feeling uneasy about something, the way that you word it really makes all the difference. So the first line, and the way that these cards are set up, is that they are they're postcards. So the back of it says postcard. They're really, really pretty. And on the front side, it says, "Dearest you, all your prayers are heard and mirrored back to you from the unseen realms. Be grateful, praise things before they manifest, and always ask for the highest good. When you plead and beg, that will only bring you more reasons to plead and beg." Oh, so let's stop there for a minute. I'm covered in chills right now, because what this is saying here is, and we are taught, I think a lot of times when we do any type of prayers or anything, please God, please universe, please, I need this, and we do it from this state of lack. And what this sentence is really saying is that we cannot come from a place of lack when we are asking for what we want. Instead, and what she says in the beginning is, we have to be grateful and praise the things before they manifest. What that means is, let's say I want to call in, I don't know. I'm trying to think. Maybe an opportunity. Okay, so maybe I want to call in an opportunity. Maybe for you, it's a new job or a way to shift or change your life, and that you feel would be maybe heading towards your highest and best self, or you're looking for something new. And instead of saying, or maybe it's money, maybe money is the thing that especially right now around the holiday season, right? So maybe it's money, maybe it's an opportunity. And instead of coming from a place of lack by saying, please send me this, please give me the opportunity, I really need this, it will change my life. Instead of saying that, rephrasing it to say something like, thank you, universe, for this brand new opportunity that's coming my way. Thank you, universe, for the extra money in my wallet. this month. I am so grateful for that money in my wallet. I am so grateful for this new opportunity because I know that it is going to bring such joy to my life. It is going to help me to grow in so many ways. Do you see the difference there? Do you see the difference in how the language shifts the energy, right? So when we go from a place of begging, like, please, please, please let this happen. Please, please, please. It is a place of begging. It's a place of lack. And what Colette Baron Reed is saying here is that, and these are channeled messages, and I love Colette Baron Reed. I really, really love what she does. And if this is a channeled message from the universe, what this is saying is that when you ask for things like that, we are going to give you more things to be begging and pleading for because you are in a state of lack. It's not that you're getting more things, it's that you're seeing more. You're seeing more of it, right? Because the universe, right, she says it in her first sentence, all your prayers are heard and mirrored back to you from the unseen realms. Everything is a mirror to you. So if you are begging, you're going to see more things that you need to beg for. You're going to see more reasons that you need to beg. But if you're coming from this place, because that's that energy, right? So if you're coming from this place of like, I already have it, it's mine, and not that you believe it to be yours, but you know that it already is, right? And the way that this works, and if you're having a hard time wrapping your mind around finding the language to support that, because you're like, well, it's not here, right? That's your logical mind kicking in. It's not here. I can't see it. I can't feel it. Right? If you're saying those things, then I want you to really think for a moment about timelines. And we talk about timelines. There's no such thing as time. Time is a human-made construct. So there's multiple things happening at once. And if you can, remember we talk about this, if you can see it, you can dream it, it is yours. It is already yours. You've opened up a timeline to it. So when you ask for something, or when you're looking to bring something into fruition and you're asking to see it, you have to actually see it. You have to actually say, let's open up this timeline, baby, let's do it. And the way that you do it is not coming from a place of lack, like that would be great, or, something that feels so out of maybe reach. Instead of feeling like it's out of reach, say it's already here, and it will start to come to fruition for you. You will start to see little bits and pieces of the thing that you want starting to come because you opened up the timeline and you're allowing yourself to see it mirrored back to you because it's already there. It's already there waiting for you. So I'm sure that you're wrapping your mind around this. I'm sure, especially if you've heard me ever speak about manifestation, which I do all the time. So I talk about manifestation all the time. And this is the biggest part of it, is that you don't have to just also believe that it's going to happen. You have to know. You have to know that the universe is always going to give you what you want, what you need, what is destined for you, and more, and then some, because that is just how the universe works. The universe is always working in your favor, even if it feels hard, even if it feels like it's unsettling or uneasy, the universe is always working in your favor. So when you start to see life differently, you start to see life from a place of speaking to the universe for the things that you want in this almost celebratory way. And that is a secret of mine. That is something that I do. And I guess I don't think I talk about it as much because, I don't think I talk about it that much because I don't think of it. It is a part of who I am. It is a part of how I speak to myself and how I get into my own spiritual groove. And I am a person that lives life intentionally. I live life ritualized, and I have woven my spiritual practices into my day. So I want to give you an example of that. And these aren't things that I have to think about. They just come over me and I go with them. I don't I do set aside time for my spiritual practice, but then I also allow it to unfold when the moment strikes throughout the day. So this morning, I was in the shower and I had this like big meeting and that was coming up that day. And I just started and I call it like, it's not preaching, but I call it preaching because that's how I feel. Like I feel the energy start to rise within me, and it's like me preaching to me. It's me talking this like beauty into my life. And that's what I started doing. And I started saying to myself, like, universe, I see you and I feel you working through me. And I know what is meant for me. I know that this is going to happen today. I know it. I feel it in my bones. I feel it in all of me. I know that that you are sending me all the synchronicities, all the signs, all the things that I need in order to make this happen, because this is why I'm here on earth. And I started to go, and I started to just let myself go. And even if it didn't make sense, I let the mind drop. This is what I love doing. I let the mind drop out of it and just let the heart speak. And maybe it's not making sense. And maybe it moves you. Maybe it moves your body to a place where you're dancing and you're feeling it. And I know that you're like, what? But the energy that is produced from something like that, from this place of ultimate knowing, this place of just, I know that the universe is working for me, working with me, working through me, it brings you to this other place. And you can't help but keeping that high vibration. It's almost like you want to skip around after that, because you've really taken your vibration from this like maybe like normalized state to this higher level frequency that is filled with like reverence, that's filled with reverence for knowing, reverence for understanding the ultimate gifts that you have inside of you. And that is how I like to pray. Really. I do it through that. And I also do it through gratitude. So, and as things are happening through the day, I say, thank you, universe, right? So, or you can fill in the blank. God, higher power, source. I mean, whatever feels good to you. And I use them all interchangeably. I use God, I use higher power, whatever feels good for you. All right, let's go on to the next sentence. So the next sentence is, instead, so we left off with, when you plead and beg, you're going to only see more reasons to plead and beg. Instead, offer your prayers as sacred gifts, as a testament to your faith in a higher power. So we just talked about that we know that the universe is always working for us. Open up and let spirit move through you and comfort you. Right? I just said that, right? We're allowing spirit to move through us and become one with us. We're allowing the space in our bodies, getting rid of that lower vibration frequency, getting rid of the lack mindset, the victim mindset, the ego getting in the way and saying, that's so far away. You'll never have that. That's never going to happen. What if it does happen? It's going to change your life, right? The ego starts to your mind starts going crazy. So really removing those things and letting yourself be embodied, be embodied by spirit. And then she says, add meditation as a way to become empty, so you will be ready to be filled with inspired peace, epiphanies, understanding, and joy. So this is kind of like what I'm doing now that I'm realizing it as I'm reading this, is that there's something called, it's called empty presence. Okay. And this is something that you learn as you learn to hold space for people. And what that means is that you empty out whatever it is that's like, maybe sitting on your heart, or something like whatever day you had, or even just of yourself, like it's almost like, I don't want to say of your own energy, because that's not the case. I'm trying to put it into words, but really what you're doing when you're practicing empty presence is that you are there and you're there in the space without, almost like recognizing you are just there. You are just being and holding space, and you're empty and allowing spirit to move through you, allowing the energies to move through you. So whenever I hold classes, whenever I hold circles, especially, I go into a place, I ask the universe to work through me, speak through me, and I allow myself to be emptied out. So I'm just showing up and allowing whatever needs to be spoken through me to do that, rather than my own thoughts getting in the way and how we get jumbled up and go on tangents. No, we allow the spirit to move through. And then you're filled with these epiphanies and these joys and the understanding. And that's what I was saying before, like how you start moving and dancing because you just want to. So then she goes on to say, in this moment, your prayers are being answered for the highest good of both you and all life. Sometimes what you pray for is not supposed to happen for you, and your prayers will be answered in surprising ways. Oof. So this I really love, and I want to break this down because there's so much juicy knowledge and beauty here. It's that, especially when we're praying from a place of lack, we think that this one thing that we are praying for, that we are asking for, will be the only thing that can change our life, our circumstance, the way we're feeling. And the fact is that you don't know best. And I want to leave that with you. You don't know best. The universe does. And I always say this to myself, and this is how I kind of got out of that, is who are you to question the universe? Who are you to question what God, what the universe has in store for you? And when we do question it, is the moment that we begin to hold ourselves back from what is actually meant for us. That is a true place of surrender. When we try to control situations, when we try to control life around us, that is the minute that we tell the universe, I know best, don't work through me. And that's also the moment that you choose a harder path, a more difficult path for yourself. So if you are a person that like identifies as I'm a control freak, I'm going to ask you now to take active steps to get out of that. Even if you're a creative, okay, I'm going to say this, and I say this with love because I'm a creative myself and I have been there. As a creative, you have a vision in mind. And the vision often doesn't come to fruition the way it was in your mind, and it comes out exactly the way that it should. But we get so stressed out that it's not coming out the exact way that we envisioned, the exact way that we wanted to. And I think that if you can hold the vision, have the vision, but say, no matter what, it's going to come out beautiful, right? You can start to create the vision, but allow for changes that don't stress you out, and allow for the space for the universe to work through to produce something even better. Oftentimes you may look at what was created and say, well, it wasn't what I had in mind. And everyone's like, it's beautiful, it's amazing, right? Like you can't even see it because you're wrapped around a thought of something that maybe was beautiful, but it wasn't meant to be for you in that moment. So, and I have been on the other end of that as a creative, and I mostly like with parties, like when I used to throw like the most beautiful, beautiful parties. And I still will on occasion. But I realized that I would get so stressed out over the vision and the vision coming to life that when it went wrong, it was ruining and dampening the moments of the party, the feeling of the party for me, because I would look at that thing and be like, that's not how you were supposed to come out. That's not what was supposed to happen. Who said? Who said that it wasn't supposed to happen that way, right? So we have to embrace that we do not know what is best for us. What we can embrace is that we have an idea of what lights us up. We know what lights us up. We know what brings us joy. We know how we want life to feel, and that we can take the aligned action to get there. And we're going to stumble along the way, and we are going to also allow for the beauty that's meant to come with that. And we have to let the universe lead the way. And understand that just because you think that something should look a certain way and be a certain way doesn't mean that's for your highest and best good. And if you let go long enough, you will see that. That I can promise you, that you will see that it's even better than you thought it would be. Even better. And that's what we want to strive for. This or something better, right? That's the famous saying, this or something better. And it's this or something better because this is what my vision is, universe. This is how I want it to look, but you know better. So bring it on, whatever that looks like to you. And when you can truly let go, I am telling you, you will see the beauty of your life unfold in the most amazing ways. And your prayers, like Colette Baron Reed says here, your prayers will be answered in very surprising ways because it may not be exactly what you thought, but you're going to capture that feeling that you wanted. So she goes on to say, at this moment, we, meaning spirit, we are listening intently to your prayers and want you to know that your highest good is our priority. Ooh, I have chills. I've got chills. I kind of want to cry a little bit. And it's really because I know this. I can feel that in my heart, and I see it unfold from my life all the time, and I allow myself to do that. So I'm going to ask you to do the same. I'm going to ask you to trust in the universe. Trust in every single thing that the universe is providing, that it's all working in your favor. When we don't trust is when we truly are not manifesting our lives in the biggest way possible. We're not manifesting our best life when we don't trust the universe and how it's working. So if we can hang on to this last sentence that says, we want you to know that your highest good is our priority. If you can hang on to that and remember that as you walk through life, as you walk through some challenging points in life, as you maybe encounter something that feels really expansive but also scary or really pushes you out of your comfort zone, remembering that the universe wouldn't have given it to you if it wasn't for your highest good, because your highest good is the universe's priority. And this is what gets me through a lot of things because I'm always living outside of my comfort zone. So I'm like, all right, if I'm being presented with this, then I'm going for it, you know? And I want you to do the same, because when you live life from this place, you truly begin to see your life unfolding in magical, amazing ways. So I want you to let go. A lot of this here, now that I'm like really thinking about it, a lot of this is about truly letting go and just letting spirit work through you, letting the universe work through you, letting God work through you. Pick your word, okay? Let it work through you. And you will start to see, even when you do your prayers, even when you're asking for the things that you want, as you're giving your gratitude, you're going to see the energy just rises within you. And when you truly trust, you're allowing it to happen and say, all right, universe, I know you've got me. Let's go about our day now. And you've raised that vibration, and maybe you held the vision steady for the thing that you want, and you could see it before you, and you're feeling so good, right? Maybe you grab a crystal, a clear quartz crystal, something that's going to really keep that vibration high for you. You're going to start seeing and look for them. Look for the little things. The little things are there. So I want to tell you something interesting. So I realized that I'm like, I've been doing a lot of like mind manifesting, like visioning and, seeing the things in my mind and seeing how they unfold. And I realized that I hadn't written anything for manifesting in a while. Like I hadn't written things down, and I really, really love manifesting through journaling. Gabby did an entire class on manifesting through journaling. It's so good. You can catch the replay if you want. And, I realized I hadn't done that. So I wrote down a bunch of things. First, I always start with gratitude. So I wrote down like 2 pages of what I was grateful for. And then I went into what I was manifesting, and I wrote these things. And as I'm writing them, I can see it. And I was being really detailed with it. Like I can see the different things unfolding and what I was asking for, what I was working with the universe for. And I was getting so excited with each entry, so excited as the vision unfolded, as the just, I don't know, as the energy overtook me. And I wrote down maybe like 5 or 6 things in detail. And 4 days later, and I kid you not, 4 days later, I got calls and emails on these things starting to come to life. It was amazing. And I forgot that I did it, actually. I totally forgot that I did it. And I sat down to like journal again, I think it was, or make notes on something. And I looked back at my last entry and I was like, oh my God, wait a second. And I started reading again, even though it was just 4 days before, I started reading through all of my entries, or maybe it was 5 days, whatever, it was 4 or 5 days, still, it's a short amount of time. And these were big things, by the way. They weren't like little tiny things. They were big, big things. And they started unfolding. And I'm reading these and I'm like, oh my God, I can't believe this. But I can believe it. But like, I just did this a couple days ago. So trust in the energy that you're putting out there. And the way that I worded them was like, I already had them. They were mine. I knew it when I was writing it that they were mine. But when I was in, those things were so in alignment with me. I wasn't asking for things that were so outside of the alignment factor. And I knew that they were in alignment with me. It was just a matter of when and how, really. And if it was for my highest good, okay? And it obviously was for my highest good. And as soon as I just put it out there in a more structured way, that is when I started to really see them unfold. And now I'm doing all the things to see these bigger things unfold for me, for spirit and soul. And it's so exciting. And it's almost like something that brings me to tears, because like when I think about it, because how can you deny the magic? Really? How can you deny it? So you have a glimpse now into how I like to sit and manifest, and how I like to speak to spirit. And I want you to try it out for yourself. Okay? When no one's looking, when you have some time, I want you to get into that place where you just allow yourself to speak without judging what comes out of your mouth, and really holding a vision steady for something that you're manifesting, something you're asking for, something you're praying for, and hold that vision steady and just allow yourself to go with it. And then I want you to surrender. I want you to surrender to the outcome. I want you to surrender to the fact that the universe knows best and that it's already yours. It's already there. It's already yours. You just in that moment created the timeline to it. So whether it happens to you for you in 4 days or 4 weeks or 4 months, it doesn't matter. It's coming to you. It's on its way. So I want you to understand that. I want you to wrap your mind around it, trust in it. And if you have issues with this, ask us at Spirit and Soul. We'll be more than happy to guide you, to help you hold that frequency. Okay? All right. Thank you so much for joining me on this really special episode of the Spirit and Soul podcast. And I will see you next time.